Good afternoon, everybody. It's Julie Drake with Shine with Julie, and I want to welcome you today. I am your person who believes in you. I help people ditch emotional baggage that keeps them stuck so that they can succeed and realize all of their goals and dreams. And I have with me today KayLee Fischer, and I met KayLee. She is a coach. She is a go-getter. She is somebody who leads by example. And I met her through Ray Higdon's Inner Circle. But she's coming to you today as an entrepreneur. She's coming to you today as a wife and a mom and somebody who has just gone from not very much, right, KayLee, to achieving a whole lot in a lot of areas of your life. And I can't wait for the audience to hear all about you. So please go ahead and share some other tidbits that I haven't shared about yourself with our audience so they know who you are and what you bring to the table today.
Awesome. I hope no one got motion sickness from me moving my screen. I was trying to make it where my mic wasn't in the camera, but we're just going to have to deal with it, guys. So, hey, thank you so much for being here with us today. And before I tell about myself, I want you to know when Julie says that she is someone that believes in you and helps you achieve your full potential, I have personally worked with her one-on-one, having her provide me a service. And it is amazing. Some really amazing things came from it. Some doors opened for me. I was able to release some of the things that I was holding on to internally. And it was an amazing experience. So if you have the opportunity to work with her or even inquire about what she does, I highly suggest it. 10 out of 10, super amazing. And can I just tell them like something that you helped me with?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How about it? Go for it.
So I'm not really going to explain what she does because I wouldn't do it justice, but we hold things in us energetically that can manifest as physical illnesses or physical, disease in our body. And so before working with Julie, I had this really bad allergy problem. Like I had mucus 24/7. I had stuffy nose. I had chest congestion 24/7 all the time. Allergy medicine, it didn't matter. Decongestants, had it 24/7. I worked with Julie and she cleared some energy that I was holding inside of my body that was creating this physical illness inside of me. I'm telling you, one session, I have not had a lick of it since. It has been so amazing and it's so nice because allergy medicine, taking it every single day, it gets a little daunting. So just wanted to let you guys know that she is amazing and I stand behind whatever she says and whatever she's offering. So I'm KayLee Fischer. I am a 28-year-old mother and wife. I started out as a stay-at-home mom. My husband was working 7 days a week. He had 12 to 14-hour days. He had 2 days off a month because it was required by law. They're called fatigue days. If you have a husband in any type of like oil and gas industry or construction industry, you understand what a fatigue day is. And so we only got those. At this time, I was a new mom, and if I were to go to work using my college degree, I would have made just enough money to pay for our daycare, maybe had $100 extra left over a month. So we made the decision for me to stay home, and this was a very, very hard decision. I was lacking purpose. I was lacking fulfillment. I was depressed. I remember the only time my husband would call me would be question me about charges on our card. I lived off an allowance that he gave me every week. And that's what we could afford, right? He was doing the best that he could for our family. And any time that I charged money, he would ask, was that necessary? Could we have done that cheaper? And he wasn't trying to be abrasive or degrading. He was just genuinely curious about our money going out because we were using all of it, right?
Yeah.
So I got involved in network marketing because it just seemed like it made the most sense for what I was trying to achieve at the time. Very low risk, very low overhead. I got involved in some coaching, and after getting involved in some coaching, I built a substantial business. I love network marketing. I think it's great. I still coach for Ray. But through network marketing, I realized I had a higher calling, and that was to work with people on their mindset and manifestation. Because even though network marketing was the vehicle for me to manifest a lot of abundance and things that we had manifested from where we were to where we are now. I realized that there was a larger calling for me, for women that were trying to start businesses outside of network marketing that didn't really like the network marketing, but were still wanting to achieve more and tap into their potential as an entrepreneur, or even as someone climbing up the corporate ladder. I work with women that really thoroughly love working in corporate America and are just looking to improve their mindset to achieve more success there. And so kind of to bring it full circle, we went from living in a very small 2-bedroom apartment to increasing our household income by multiple 6 figures. We live in a beautiful 3,000 square foot home. And I have my very own office now. When I first got started as an entrepreneur, I was working in the floor on a Yeti cooler as my desk, as my son jumped in his jumper to get us started. And so here we are now. We have new vehicles, which at the time, both of us were driving like 15-year-old vehicles. And it's really nice. It's really great. We have, all the extras that we want.
So did your son say, Mommy, did you get a raise? That's what my daughter said. So, when we moved and I have an office, she's like, Mommy, did you get a raise? Yeah, you could call it that.
Yeah, something like that. So when I first started in network marketing, Maddox was 3 months old. And so it's funny when people get into network marketing, they have older children and they're like, how do you do it? And I'm like, I'm really lucky because he got used to watching me work inside the home from a really young age. And now that he's 3, it's a little bit harder for him to contain things. And he'll come up and he'll say, Mommy. So like he even knows to be quiet, but no, he didn't ask, did we get a raise? He, when we first moved in, he said, is this our new big house?
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what, you talk about, was it your son that drove you to want to become an entrepreneur so you could stay home with him? Or did you always dream of becoming an entrepreneur one day and having your own business? How did you come about that path?
Yeah. So I went to school to be a high school history teacher. So I'm a historian by academics, but
interesting. I would never have said that. I have never heard that. That's crazy.
So I went to school to be a high school history teacher. And in a way I do teach. I just teach adults. But my drive to be an entrepreneur really had, nothing to do with my son. I was so unfulfilled and depressed at one point that I was like, I will put him in daycare just to have human interaction. Yeah. So I will tell you my breaking point was one day when I had been we lived in this 2-bedroom apartment and it was bare. We had furniture and we had a TV.
Yeah.
It was bare, like no decorations. And you can tell I'm from the South. We love our decorations, right? Yeah. We change them seasonally. We love it. And so it just didn't feel like home. And so I had been saving my little extra money from my allowance every week until I had about $300 saved up. And it was in October and I went and bought fall decorations and I spent every bit of that $300 for decorations for our house. And I didn't even make it home before he called me and he was like, $300 at Joann in Hobby Lobby. And when I tell you, I was so mad because I was doing this for us. I was trying to make our house a home. I saw red and I was like, that's it. I will never, ever, ever in a million years get another one of these damn phone calls where you question me because I felt about this big. Yeah. And that's what drove me to want to do something for me. I wanted my own money. And I also didn't. I first did it because I wanted my own money. I never wanted to have a call like that again.
Right.
But what drove me to want to increase the level that I was operating at and to bring in more money is because I saw how it was alleviating stress from my husband when I was like, I'll get groceries.
Right.
You'll get groceries. Yeah, I'll get groceries. I got groceries. Right. How much do we owe on our furniture? Let me finish paying that off. And I could just see it, like the weight coming off of him. Yeah. And then I thought, well, if I can pick up enough responsibility with our finances. Maybe he can take a lower paying job that's not so demanding.
Mm-hmm.
And he did.
Awesome. So you get to spend more time with him as a byproduct as well.
He works right now is a anomaly because he is working a shutdown, but most of the year,
seasons of not seeing, but not like it was before.
Yeah. So now he works 4 days a week, 8-hour days.
Oh, wonderful.
Oh, it's so nice.
Much better. You have a life. You have a family life. That's fantastic. Your business created that.
Yeah. And I've never heard it put that way, like you have a life, but that's really what it feels like now. We have a life.
Yeah. Before you were roommates, you were seeing each other, you were passing, and that's not a family life. That's not a good family.
No. And you're exactly right. Like we were like roommates because he was so stressed out that I was scared to talk to him. Not that he would have ever lashed out, but that's exactly how it was.
Right. That's fantastic. So talk to me about some of the challenges of, you went to school to be a history teacher and then come into this entrepreneurship world, and you've succeeded tremendously in a relatively short amount of time. How old is your son now? You said you started when he was 3 months, and now he's how old?
He turned 3 in January. So
okay. So
almost 3.5.
Has it all been easy, rosy, fun, or what are some challenges that you encountered? Never is.
Never is. I would have to say the hardest for me was my dad, because I was the first of us to graduate college. I was the first of my siblings to graduate college, and he was so proud of that. And he wanted me to be a teacher because that was something that was honorable to him. And I'm a daddy's girl. I want to make my dad proud. And when he found out that I was doing this, he was like, that's horseshit. This is never going to work. You put in all of this time to go to college, use your degree. He started we're from a small town. He started talking to his friends in that school district. He said, I got you a job lined up. All you have he took it upon himself to get me a job. Go up there, take the job. And having to tell him, no, I'm not going to do that. And have him like berate me and tell me how dumb I was and how stupid and, insecure this was. And then as I started investing a lot of money into personal development and learning about business, because when you go into business, you have to invest in learning about business. Like I will never forget, like he hung up the phone on me one day. He was like, I am done. This is ridiculous. And hung up the phone on me one day. So he still hasn't been out to see my new house because he lives in Georgia and he's an old small town boy. He doesn't want to leave, but I can't wait because it's bigger than anything he's ever lived in. So I'm excited. I'm excited to show him that. Another thing was learning that as an entrepreneur, things ebb and flow, right? When you're working for an hourly wage, things don't really ebb and flow. They stay about the same. You can count on the same amount of money. Month after month after month after month. Sometimes you may get a raise.
Right.
And, so learning that business ebbs and flows, but it ebbs and flows depending upon what lessons you need to learn at that time. It was really hard before I understood that sometimes you need to learn lessons to continue upon this path, and that it kind of looks like this, right? It's still trending upwards, but sometimes you have high points and then and that was hard for me because I expected it to be, just like this. And when I realized it wasn't, that was kind of tough.
So you've often talked about, you have your son in the jumpy thing, your business has expanded. You now have multiple things that you're doing to help people. So what does that look like? What do you do to maintain that family life and still bring things to your clients of value? How do you keep those boundaries?
So I want to speak to the mother that is tired of being with her kid 24/7. That was me. I have zero shame in saying that. As soon as I started making enough money, he went to daycare.
Yeah.
Right. And we did 3 days a week because I had so much guilt. I work from home. I dictate my own schedule. I should be at least dedicating a few days a week to him. And then more recently, because of the way things are expanding and growing. I was literally capping myself because I felt obligated to spend all of my, more days with him than not, because I am a stay-at-home mom. But we had the conversation, when I say we, Mason and I, my husband, had the conversation. He's like, if there's opportunity for you to grow, he needs to go. He's going to go to school one day anyway. So for the mom out there that knows that you have ambition and you have dreams, and so sometimes it just feels like you can't because of your obligations as a mother, there's nothing wrong with putting your kid in childcare.
Right.
I'll be the one to say that. I caught so much shit, but it's been good for my mental health. It's been great for my business. So that was a big part of the balancing act.
Well, and
a planner is the other part of a balancing act. I am old school. I love my paper planners. Get a planner. Respect your time. That's really how I do it.
Yeah. I'm so glad that you mentioned that, KayLee, because it takes me way back. I've been an entrepreneur since 2003. It's been a long time. And I quit a 6-figure job to move into becoming my own person in the business space. And it was not an easy transition for a lot of those same reasons. But I remember toying with the idea because at that point we had one child. I didn't know if I was going to be able to have another. And I was like, I'm being so selfish working. I should be a stay-at-home mom. And I sat and thought about that for about a day because I am not a stay-at-home mom. And, but part of me was like, how can I have that balance of pouring into my kid, but yet being that professional that I needed to be, because that was a huge part of how God designed me. And, what you're talking about is just coming to grips with, it's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay. And, maybe one day you don't send Maddox to daycare. You spend the whole day with him, but you have the flexibility to do it.
Right.
You don't have to ask for somebody's permission to take a whole day to spend with him. And you don't care if you're paying for daycare because you got it covered. So there's all of that. When I first started, I worked 4 days a week and that worked for me. Or then I was home with him when he got off the bus in first grade. And I remember him sitting at the dinner table praying, thank you, God, that my mommy's home when I come home from school. When he was 16, he wasn't so happy.
Yeah.
But, it's those seasons of life. And like you said, it's okay. Wherever you're at, it's okay. It's just what's right for you and your family at that time. So I'm really thankful that you shared that, because I think that a lot of times, especially as women, as moms, we want to put everybody else ahead of us. And like you said, then you build the resentment. Then you sit there and you're like, this is not me. I can't believe. You get depressed, you get down, and you don't often see the way out. So I thank you for sharing that. And, we've talked about those conversations. You had some pretty deep, intense, negative conversations with people that you love. And, right now, I know that there's not one person on the planet that doesn't feel the negativity flying about. You just can't go outside without, feeling that in some way, shape, or form. So a lot of what you talk about is mindset, right? Helping people get the right mindset. My work helps people ditch emotional baggage. But talk to me on a day-to-day basis. What does that look like for you? How do you make sure that you maintain an air of positivity? Because you have to bring that to the table in anything that you do. So what does that look like for KayLee Fischer? How do you stay positive?
Yeah, and that's so true, especially working with other people and understanding that everything carries energy. So when I get off of here and I go make a post on Facebook, it carries energy. And the person that reads it is going to feel that. I am on the phone with people, working with them one-on-one, and that carries energy. And they feel that. The podcast, the email broadcast, the things I do into the group, like the conversations that I have, like all of that carries energy, and my presence carries energy. And the thing that's been most important to me is prioritizing myself, which goes back to what you say. So I get up early in the morning. to spend time by myself.
Mhm.
And this has been probably the most profound thing and most profound habit that I have ever established. I get up in the morning, I make my coffee, I water my little plants outside in my flower bed, get
Oh, you're so
outside
good.
barefoot,
Mhm.
because I am someone that tends to not be grounded. So that's my little grounding practice.
Awesome. I
Mind
love
you,
that.
mind you, I do not look at my phone.
Mhm.
It's so important, y'all. So
Yes.
important. Do not let your phone be the first thing that you pick up and look at. So I
Mhm.
go outside, I water my plants, I come in, I have a cup of coffee, I sit in my office, I gratitude journal,
Mhm.
I go through my affirmations, I read for 10 to 15 minutes some type of personal development book. So right now I'm on psycho-cybernetics.
Oh,
See my little
nice.
tabs. It's really good. And then I do a visualization practice for 15 minutes. So visualizing myself,
Mhm.
accomplishing some goals that I have set. And then I go snuggle up to Maddox and I wake him up and I fix him breakfast and then I pick up my phone.
Yeah.
But the not picking up the
So
phone has
important.
been so important because if you don't spend some time with yourself first,
Mhm.
you never know how to gauge when you're off or when you're
Mhm.
misaligned or when you're having thoughts that aren't true to your nature or moving you forward in the way that you want to move forward. So spending that time by myself every day lets me ground myself, lets me align myself, lets me check in with myself. So if I do come across something in my day that just kind of is odd, maybe
Mhm.
puts me in a weird energy, I can say, you know what? This is not me by nature because this is not how I
Right.
was this morning.
Correct.
Right. So let me reverse back to this emotion. Let me evoke this emotion. Okay. Boom, realign. Let's carry on with our day. Another thing is, and I won't harp on it too much, take care of your physical body.
Yes.
You can, if your body is working so hard to carry a lot of extra weight, to digest super over processed foods, to, you know, get you moving and get you mobile because you don't ever move and you're never mobile
Mhm.
and you aren't working on building strength. If your body has to overcompensate for all of that stuff, it's using the energy that you could use to emit positivity to just help you function. So taking care of your physical vessel, being mindful about what you eat and moving your body, it's so important. That's one thing that also keeps me high energy, great mindset, positive emotions because I'm doing something every day that makes me proud of me.
Right. And some people are great motivating themselves and other people need help. So you're somebody that I love to watch because you recognize when, you're in that position where you could do so much by yourself, but you could do so much more with the right coach at the right time. So you work with business coaches and you also work with a fitness coach,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So, don't feel afraid, audience, that, if you think you have more to grow, find somebody to work with, somebody in that area that you want to grow in, because you do need, it's not about willpower. It's not about desire. Sometimes it's just having the right person to come alongside and pull the best out of you that's already there. But sometimes we do. It's like that helping hand. It's not necessarily somebody pulling you, but it's that helper, and it just takes that which you are to the next level. And I do absolutely love that about you. So tell me really quick. We're almost out of time here today, but I'd love to know. Outside of business in these last 3 years, especially, what would you say is your biggest accomplishment?
Oh, my biggest accomplishment. That's oh man, I'm just so proud of myself. Man, my biggest accomplishment, and this isn't something that's tangible,
Mhm.
is no longer being a judgmental person. That I feel like, and I'm about to cry thinking about it, but I feel like my biggest accomplishment is learning to love people and meet them where they are at, because when I was miserable, I was so judgmental. I was looking for reasons that other people were miserable. I was looking for reasons that people couldn't be as happy as they thought that they were. Now I've genuinely found a way to love people, and that feels so good. It feels so good to genuinely love and care about people. That's probably because I used to gossip. I'm a Southern girl. You know, we love our gossip. We love our gossip. But now I just don't feel the need to do that. That doesn't fuel me and drive me and entertain me anymore.
Right.
And so that's probably I feel like my biggest accomplishment personally, family wise, just anytime I can help my husband, you know, like I'll give you two examples of like two proud moments. And I know that we don't have much time. So when me and Mason met with a financial advisor right as I had started entrepreneurship, and the financial advisor asked me what I did and how much income I had, and I told him what I did, and he kind of laughed at me. Like, that'll never work out. We met with him a year later. I took my $1,000 handbag. Boom! I slammed it on the table, and I was like, here's our numbers, you know.
Now
and then no, doesn't usually work out, but you know. And then we were having someone help us with our taxes, and when you give them, you know, your information of like how much money you make, and they're like,
whoa, yeah.
That's a good feeling, knowing where you came from.
Yes. And you no longer have to have those calls leaving Hobby Lobby. You can buy all the Halloween decorations you want, and you can be the best house on the block for Halloween.
I'm not. Look, they do me up around here.
Oh,
I'm
really?
not my best. Yes. Hey, these folks are serious, but I'm not the best house, but the inside of my house is cute.
Awesome. I went through a neighborhood in Houston around Halloween time, and I got to tell you, I started taking pictures of houses with skeletons climbing on the top and, you know, all these elaborate things in the yard. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, this is Halloween, but they do it big. There's nothing small in Texas, right?
Nope,
they say that.
Right about that.
Well, KayLee, thank you so much. You have really shed some light on some things that I bet some people are going to resonate with today. And I just want to make sure that people know how to find you. I know you're on Instagram with Hello Ambition, hashtag Hello Ambition. They can find you. Is there any other way that you want to direct people to find you today?
Yeah. So I would love for you to check out my podcast. I'm on all streaming platforms. Hello Ambition is the name of the podcast. Super easy to find. And even if you don't listen to my podcast, you just go to the show notes of one of my podcasts. It'll have all the links in there that you could possibly need to find me, to get in touch with me, to check out the content that I have out there. And then also I have a freebie that I always offer. I have a free money mindset quiz. And so what you can do is you can take this quiz. It'll kind of let you know where you are in terms of your money mindset, helping you kind of gauge, you know, could I improve to attract more abundance, or maybe help you understand why you aren't attracting much abundance, or why you're attracting, you know, so much abundance. And to get that, all you have to do is go to KayleeAFisher.com, KayleeAFisher.com. Fill out the form. It'll send it straight to your email.
Wonderful. And that was KayleeAFisher.com.
That's it. That's right.
Okay. Fantastic.
Hey, this is neat. This little setup is neat. Thank you so much for having me. You are so amazing. I'm so proud to know you, and I'm so honored. I hope you invite me back.
Definitely. We will have you back, KayLee. And just remember, if you don't believe in yourself, we believe in you. You are a special gem, and you deserve to shine. Until next time, bye.